Explained.
Huey, there was no sale.
Black Friday is just not
Alright, here we go.
what it used to be.
20% is not a sale!
You see, back in my day, we would camp outside of Best Buy for 8 hours in order to get a steal.
But don't let these people play on y'all with these Black Friday scams.
I feel like as a kid there were so many great deals, but now it just feels like a scam and that nothing is ever really on sale.
Every year, stores claim Black Friday is when they finally give you the best deals. But what if it's the day they rig the system for their biggest payday? And if they do offer a discount, it might not even be for the product you think it is. In today's video, we'll break down the financial and psychological systems that drive the Black Friday madness, and finally reveal the hidden incentives that make it all work. But did you know that the name Black Friday actually has nothing to do with shopping? If you're like me and have always heard the story that Black Friday is the day that retailers go from being in the red and operating at a loss to being in the black and profitable, you've actually been living a marketing lie. You see, Black Friday doesn't actually get its name from anything financially related. In order to explain this, let me take you back to the 1950s. It's Thanksgiving Day in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and the Army-Navy game is kicking off on Saturday morning. Now, the Army-Navy game isn't just another Saturday football game. This game is different. It brings in crowds from across the country to watch our nation's finest military academies face off against each other. And with that comes a lot of chaos. After eating their Thanksgiving feasts, massive crowds would descend on Philly, all in preparation for the big game. And those crowds would bring along traffic jams, gridlock, and mayhem in the streets, often leading to an increase in shoplifting and theft throughout the city. Thus, the Philadelphia police officers nicknamed the Friday before the Army-Navy game as Black Friday. Obviously, the retailers in Philly weren't huge fans of the name Black Friday, but they did want some way to signify the kickoff of the Christmas season the day after Thanksgiving. So they attempted to rebrand Black Friday to Big Friday and Big Saturday. But it never really caught on, and as the hunger for shopping sprees after Thanksgiving began to spread across the country and outside of Philadelphia, the retailers decided to return to the name Black Friday, but change the meaning of the term. And this is where we get the more commonly known definition that Black Friday is the day that stores go from writing their daily loss in red pen to writing their profit with black ink. But what about Big Saturday? Did the retailers really want to give up the full weekend of spending just for the catchy name of Black Friday? Not necessarily. It did take another 20 years or so to find a way to capitalize on the full weekend, but in 2005, the National Retail Federation dubbed the Monday after Thanksgiving Cyber Monday. As the internet became more popular, retailers started noticing a decline in shoppers on Black Friday. Many shoppers preferred to just stay at home on Friday, and once they returned to work on Monday, they would use their high-speed office internet to finish their holiday shopping lists. Originally, Cyber Monday was built to only sell online exclusive deals, and this was the store's attempt to not cannibalize their Black Friday deals. But as we know, e-commerce has pretty much taken over, and Black Friday, Cyber Monday has expanded to the entire month of November and then some. But we'll get into that more later.
What?
First, we need to pull back the curtain on the marketing schemes behind all of this, because Black Friday sales are actually rarely a good deal, and oftentimes you might be losing more than you realize. The most basic thing to understand about these sales is that they are not built for you. Think of a store like it's a parking garage. Every item on the shelf is a car in a parking space, and every car has to pay to park in the parking garage. The longer the cars sit in the garage, the more the owners have to pay to keep them there. So the stores would rather offer a discount to get the car out of the garage than to keep paying to leave it there. Every inch of space in a store is extremely valuable real estate, and they just don't want it to sit idle, especially going into the Christmas season when shoppers are actively looking to spend some serious money. So they heavily discount older, slower moving items in order to clear the space for high margin Christmas and holiday products. But sometimes those heavy discounts we see on the tags aren't actually discounts at all.
Underneath it, you can see that the price never changes from the sign that was in front.
But before I explain that, there's something else you need to know. As our lives become more complicated and digital, it's never been more important to protect your digital privacy than today. And the best way to do that is by using a VPN. There is a user along with day. Let me introduce you to a concept called price anchoring. This is a psychological tool that marketers use to manipulate the way you view the current price. This is used throughout online shopping, car sales, and even real estate deals. The sellers basically anchor the price of a good at a certain price and then slash through it with the new price. That original price is the anchor point for your brain, and you view the new price entirely based on that anchor point, which means you perceive the new lower.
I've definitely felt like that going shopping. It's like it's only $100. Like that's not much of a deal as you think it is, because it's just a smaller price margin.
As more attractive, and thus you're more likely to purchase. But on Black Friday, the stores will play 2 games with your brain. Number 1, the markup game. Take a look around the stores you go in throughout October and November leading up to Black Friday. If you're paying close attention, you'll notice that certain items throughout the store will slowly increase in price. It's usually not by much because they obviously don't want you to notice, but over the course of a few weeks or months, they can inch the price up just enough so that when Black Friday rolls around, they can slash through it, marking it back down to the original price and convincing you that you're getting a good deal. But in reality, you're paying the same price you would have in July. Now, this isn't as much of a problem now because of all the price tracking tools that are available, but it's still something to be aware of, and you should always double check with a tracker to make sure you're not getting taken advantage of. The second game stores like to play is the Black Friday special. These are the end cap items or stacks of TVs all lit up and waiting at the door labeled one-time Black Friday specials. They look just like their normal related products, but these ones are special. Usually they'll have massive discounts and look like a complete steal compared to the rest of the store. And these are the items you usually see people throwing fists over. But what the stores don't want you to know is that these are not special in a good way. You see, these specials are typically downgraded, cheaper versions of the real thing. TVs are the best example of this. Many times TV manufacturers will build Black Friday models of their more popular TVs in order to drive a buying frenzy. These versions of the TV are built with cheaper parts, don't have as many features, are missing certain ports and accessories, and overall just not as good as you think. But since it's marked as the special and it's $300 off, everybody runs after them. The easiest way to avoid being scammed by the Black Friday special is to check the model number of the item you're buying. If it's been heavily discounted and there's a similar version on the website marked at a normal price, double check the model number to see if they match.
I've definitely been doing that a lot more, and I only started to notice it like when a couple of years back, because I'm like, why are there 2 versions of the same thing? It's kind of like a game. It's like when you get the deluxe version, regular version, it's just like you gotta see what they're actually trying to give you instead of just like, oh, they give you the deluxe version. Oh, this is like they give you can buy a regular game, or like just like certain products where it's like they give you, it's like the shoes in Famous Footwear, like the lower tier Nike shoes, like they're still Nikes, but they're not as quality as like the shoes that you see on the mainstream market that you want to buy, you know? Like if it's a Nike shoe, Adidas shoe, New Balance, whatever shoe is, you probably want to get the mainstream one instead of like the Famous Footwear, the downgraded lower tier, more affordable shoes. But always get what you need. Never pay out of your own means. I think that's also an important thing, because those shoes are completely fine, but it's the discrepancy in it. Oh damn.
A trap. If they do match, then you've probably discovered the third game that stores like to play, the loss leader. This is a pretty simple concept and really nothing new, but it's important to include. Basically, a loss leader is something that a store is willing to take a loss on in order to get more customers in the door. For example, Best Buy could do a blowout sale on TVs offering them for $100. This would lead people to camping out in line just to get the chance to snag a TV for cheap. But Best Buy isn't doing this to sell TVs. They're doing it to get as many customers in the door, because they know if they can get you in the door and tease you with a good deal, you might see something else you like and end up spending more throughout the rest of the store. These loss leader products are just the bait to get you in, and the stores make the real money on the other high margin products you might buy. But even with all of these games, why does it work? We all kind of know deep down that these deals are usually too good to be true. So how is it that Black Friday is still just as effective today as it was in the 60s? Well, that comes back to simple human psychology. And there are 4 main tricks the stores will use, starting with number 1, the fear of missing out. This is actually one of the most used psychological tricks with pretty much anything in your daily life. And that's because it's one of the most effective ways to convince people to do something. As a population, humans want to be in community and striving together. So when you threaten someone with the possibility that they might miss out on something or regret not taking action, they'll typically take the bait. During Black Friday, stores will use countdown timers and marketing focused on one-day only deals or limited time offers. Under the pressure of time and FOMO, our brains kick into system 1 thinking, which means we're making choices based on emotion and impulse, leaving all rationality at the door. But if that doesn't work and you're strong enough to maintain your rational thinking, they'll actually use it against you. Which brings us to the second trick, the endowment effect. This one is a little more interesting because it's the stores banking on you doing your research and coming in prepared on Black Friday. They don't want the impulsive customer. They want the person who's put in the time to figure out exactly what they want. That's why you'll start seeing Black Friday catalogs show up a few weeks before, or emails listing out the deals that will be available. These aren't sent out for your advantage, but instead, the stores know that the more time you spend researching something or waiting for something, the more likely you are to buy it. It's kind of like sunk cost theory plus a dopamine rush. We spend all this time double checking that this is exactly what we want, and our dopamine levels increase with the anticipation that you're going to get it. So when Black Friday rolls around, the stores know you'll not only buy the thing you've been eyeing, but you might also pick up a couple of accessories or things to go with it because you've already started the momentum of buying. So what's another $20 here and $40 there? Going along with the time you spend researching, the stores are also working on trick number 3, decision fatigue. This is pretty much just what it sounds like. Black Friday and Cyber Monday are no longer just 2 days on the calendar. They've stretched to encompass the whole month of November and even into October for some brands. The longer sales were originally due to customer demand because people wanted better deals for longer. But this increase in length wasn't just for operations. It also feeds the beast. The more messages we see, the more discounts we notice, the less energy we have to rationally evaluate every single one, which means you're more likely to make an irrational purchase on day 14 of the sale than you were on day 1. So as these sales get longer and longer, they're able to hook more people in purely out of exhaustion. But none of these tricks would be possible without the biggest of them all, the savings illusion. This is the bread and butter of Black Friday. Let's say we see an ad for a TV that's normally priced at $500, but today it's $100 off. Our brains don't immediately register that the TV is $400 now. Instead, we just focus on the $100 off because in our caveman minds, we think we're now $100 richer if we buy the TV today, which is exactly what justifies the purchase. But as you know, through simple math, you're not $100 richer, you're just $400 poorer. It's the savings illusion that drives all the other games and tricks we've covered so far. Everything else is just stacked on top of this simple concept that relies on our chicken brains not thinking rationally about prices. But now that you know how the hidden systems of Black Friday work, how can you beat it? Well, first off, ignore the savings, the discount.
How do we get ahead of the market? Let's see.
And the percent off signs. Only focus on the price. If something is $100 off, but it's still $400, you shouldn't be thinking about the deal you're about to get. You should actually be thinking about whether or not that item is even worth $400. And finally, use price trackers and wait for the price to actually come down. It's never been easier to set an alert to find the true lowest price of an item you might want. And as we mentioned earlier, usually that's not even on Black Friday. In fact, the cheapest prices of the year often fall sometime in January because this is the time that the stores have to clear their shelves off and they don't have a crowd of holiday shoppers ready to spend. It's important to remember that not everything on sale is necessarily a lie, but it is all a system. And it's a system designed to make you spend more on things you probably don't need, when the best deal is actually the money you don't spend. Don't forget to click the link in the description to grab that special CyberGhost VPN discount. It keeps your data safe while you browse and unlocks block content, all for just $2.03 per month. It's completely risk-free, so check it out today. YouTube thinks you might also like this video. Let's see if they're right.
Damn. Bro, this is an amazing good video, bro. Bro, yeah, most video. Almost never look out for Black Friday deals. Most of the time it's unnecessary consumption. And it is. Like, the last point where he makes is like, if it's actually worth the price. And a lot of times, bro, people spend money on things that they don't even barely use. I've done it before, and I just had to learn from it. But like, do you really spend money on do you use everything you actually spend your money on? I think that's a good question people need to think about, because people don't do that, and they just spend, have all these things, and it's like, bro, like, what are you gonna even do with all this stuff if it's not really meaningful? That's how I buy things now. If it actually means I'm gonna use it. If I'm not gonna use it for the long haul, I'm not gonna buy it, you know? But nah, I really like this video, bro. The Black Friday scam explained. Great video. Great video. Alright.